You see it on TV, mid-century paintings, and storefront windows, a model train running in circles around a Christmas tree, traditionally the Lionel O-gauge variety. It's been a tradition for over a century, namely in the United States. But why? Well, it all stems back to America's former reliance on the railroads for transportation. Track mileage peaked in 1916 at 254,000 miles, with an extra 44,000 miles of inner urbans. Most everyone knew railroad names and used the train to travel long distance, commute into the city, and connect with family for the holidays. Trains were a big deal. The Lionel Corporation had been manufacturing model trains since 1900, originally intended for use as storefront display pieces. Instead, they became popular, though expensive, Christmas gifts for kids throughout the 1910s and 20s. What do kids do when they open up toys? Immediately start playing with them. Once the presents were cleared out, it was a good open spot to set up the train so Grandpa wouldn't trip over it. The standard circle, oval, or figure-8 track layout was a natural fit for the base of a tree. Chances are there was also a nearby outlet to plug in the controller just below the Christmas tree. Yearly Lionel catalogs further enticed kids with the prospect of jolly old St. Nicholas bringing the gift of an electric train set. Extra track and accessories made easy gift options as each year, the model railroad could be expanded to create a festive town scene. German Americans refer to these sometimes elaborate setups as Putzen. A trend started in the 1700s where they'd make a Christmas village or nativity scene under the tree, except now it included a train. Lionel and American Flyer trains grew in popularity throughout the 1930s and into the 50s, and so did the trend of setting up a model train around the Christmas tree. Marketing saw a big push during the holiday season with new releases often timed for the fall, just in time for the seasonal shopping rush. Model trains were seen as a way for families to bond, dads to feel young again, and they'd become an iconic American toy. Despite the car, airplane, and space age taking over people's interest in the train, and smaller HO and N models growing in popularity in the 60s, Lionel weathered the storm and in the 70s began reinvigorating their image with the slogan, "Not just a toy, a tradition."
Why just give a toy when you can give a tradition? Lionel.
It was all about nostalgia. People who grew up in the early 20th century now had kids or grandkids of their own, and they wanted to pass down the tradition of giving a train set for Christmas.
This Christmas, don't give your children anything less than your father gave you. A big, rugged Lionel train.
Chugging round the tree on Christmas Day, can't you hear that Lionel train? Can't wait till my boy gets to run that line. I'll never tell him that it's really mine.
Lionel eventually recovered, and new generations of kids would find interest in toy trains and real trains. With help from a little TV show, oh, you might have heard of it, Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. So, the tradition of a model train around a Christmas tree continues to this very day, having persisted through the darkest days of the hobby and railroad history. Really, there's no definitive, clear-cut answer as to how this tradition started. It seems like it was a combination of a few things, like trains playing a big role in everyday life back then, and naturally, kids would want to have a toy or model of these huge and impressive machines. Model train sets were easy to set up around a tree, add-ons made for easy gifts, storefront displays made them appear more as a holiday decoration, and at the end of the day, a train around a tree just looks nice. It gives some dynamic and visual appeal to an otherwise static display. All that eventually led to it becoming the trend you see and maybe even take part in today. Real and model trains became intertwined with Christmas like Coca-Cola and Santa Claus. There's nothing quite like the sight of a model train illuminated by a colorful array of festive lights. It's a nostalgic family memory for some, a time-honored tradition passed down through the generations. Back then, a train set was a huge investment for some, and thus it was treated as a family treasure. Nowadays, it's a reminder of when things were simpler and the world didn't move so fast. A model train for Christmas could spur on a whole new hobby and/or career for any kid. Now you better watch out and be good for goodness sake, because Santa Claus might just bring you a new model train to add to your collection. Thank you to my channel members. Special thanks to Arizona Hot Rail, United 001, Mooter, Evans HON Productions, Grand Canyon Studios, and Tommy Rosini for subscribing to the Conductor tier. Your extra support always means and helps me out a lot. I also want to thank everyone who sent in videos of their train layouts too. It made putting this video together a lot easier. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate around this time of year. Have a Happy New Year, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks for watching.